Peter Pan. One quiet evening, as stars began to twinkle above the rooftops of London, 3 children sat in their cozy nursery. Wendy, the eldest, was gently tucking her 2 younger brothers, John and Michael, into bed. The room was peaceful, with the soft sound of the wind brushing against the window. Just as Wendy was about to turn off the light, something fluttered past her shoulder. Then, with a light tap at the window, a boy flew in. He wore green clothes, had a feather in his cap, and a smile that looked like it never faded. "Hello," he said cheerfully. "I'm Peter Pan. I've come to take you to Neverland." Wendy blinked. "You can fly?" "Of course," Peter laughed. "And you can too, with a little help." A glowing fairy zipped in behind him. Her name was Tinker Bell, and her wings sparkled like silver. She darted around the room, leaving a trail of golden light wherever she flew. Peter reached into a small pouch and sprinkled golden dust in the air. "Think happy thoughts," he said with a grin. The children closed their eyes and thought of their happiest moments. Slowly, their feet lifted off the floor. They floated like feathers in the moonlight, giggling with surprise. Out the window, they flew, following Peter across the sky. After a long and magical flight, a faraway island appeared on the horizon. "That's Neverland," Peter called out. "It's where children never grow up." Neverland sparkled with mystery. There were mountains shaped like sleeping animals, waterfalls that sang as they poured, and trees with doors that led to secret rooms. On the shore, mermaids splashed in clear blue water, and in the sky, parrots called out from their nests high above. As they landed in the forest, the Lost Boys ran toward them with bright eyes and muddy hands. They wore patchwork clothes made from leaves and feathers and laughed at almost everything. "Are you our new mother?" one of them asked Wendy. Wendy smiled kindly. "I suppose I can be, just for a while." She became like a big sister to them all. At night, she told gentle stories that made everyone quiet and still. She hummed songs when someone had trouble falling asleep and helped them clean up when their hideout got too messy. Even Peter sat and listened, pretending he wasn't smiling. John and Michael joined in their wild adventures. They built forts from tree branches, climbed rocks, and chased shadows with wooden swords. Every day in Neverland was full of wonder, but not everything was safe. A pirate ship with black sails floated near the coast, and aboard it was the fearsome Captain Hook. He wore a red coat with shiny buttons and had a sharp silver hook instead of a hand. His eyes narrowed every time he heard Peter's name. Long ago, Hook had battled Peter and lost his hand to a crocodile. Ever since, that same crocodile had followed him, hoping for another taste. It had swallowed a ticking clock, so whenever it came near, Hook heard it. Tick, tock, tick, tock. And every time he heard that sound, Hook's face turned pale. One day, the pirates came ashore and captured Wendy, John, and Michael. They tied them up on the deck of their ship and whispered their plan. "We'll sail far away before Peter ever knows," one pirate said. Captain Hook chuckled darkly. "Peter Pan will never find you now." But Peter did find them. Tinker Bell led the way, her light flickering through the trees. As the sun began to rise, Peter soared above the ship's mast and landed with a soft thud. His eyes sparkled with courage. A fierce battle began. The Lost Boys swung ropes, and Peter danced in the air like a leaf in the wind. He swooped and twirled, dodging every strike. With a clever move, he knocked Hook's sword into the sea. The captain stumbled backward. right into the jaws of the waiting crocodile. "Tick-tock," Peter said with a grin. With the pirates gone, the ship was filled with cheers. Everyone clapped and hugged and cheered for their hero. But as the morning sun rose higher, Wendy looked out at the ocean. A soft feeling grew in her chest. She missed home. She missed her mother's voice, her father's quiet footsteps, and the gentle ticking of the nursery clock. Peter noticed. "Do you want to go back?" he asked. Wendy nodded slowly. "Yes, it's time." Peter flew the children back to London. The sky was turning pink, and the stars began to fade. He guided them gently through the clouds, past the towers, and back to their quiet window. They landed softly on the nursery floor. Their beds were just as they had left them. The curtains fluttered in the breeze. Their parents were there, waiting with open arms. Peter stood by the window, looking out into the sky. "Aren't you coming in?" Wendy asked. Peter shook his head. "I belong to Neverland, but I'll always be nearby. You just have to believe." Wendy smiled. "I will." And with that, Peter Pan flew into the morning light, a trail of golden sparkles behind him.